What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So let me jump right into this. I was watching an interview with Andre Ward, and Andre Ward, he made the comment that Anthony Joshua, he made many mistakes. Okay, many mistakes, and of course, the half-ass credit. Oh, he did what he had to do. He got the job done, and there's a lot of that going around, and especially towards Anthony Joshua. Look, AJ, he's the only heavyweight right now that's trying to actually make undisputed happen. AJ wants to fight the top guys. Okay, you don't have to like AJ. I don't personally care how people feel about AJ. You know, I see him the way I see him. But at the same time, it's like when people make these claims about AJ, I look at these same fighters and I say, let's break something down about Andre Ward. Andre Ward has always shown like a jealous side, in my opinion, towards AJ. It's always he's very critical on AJ, and he's always talking about what AJ should do. Now, when fighters become commentators, they always talk like everything is just so simple, so easy. But when they were fighters, they had struggles the same way or worse. Andre Ward versus Kovalev won. Okay, let's break that fight down. The whole fight, Kovalev looked comfortable. He looked confident. He kept Andre Ward humble. Ward was doing that when he throw a shot, he come in and he try to hold, those shots to the body in the clutch, in the clinch, and all of that. And he kept them humble. He wasn't able to actually really land significant shots from the outside, mix it up, slip and move. He was getting caught. Kovalev kept snapping his head back. When Kovalev would land a shot, it was like you saw it. He dropped Andre Ward. Andre Ward basically at the end of that fight, I don't think nobody. People can talk all that now and change. Oh, no, I knew. No, I don't think nobody. Not his corner, not his best friend, not his mother, not nobody. His biggest fans, I don't think nobody thought at the end of the fight that Andre Ward was going to get the decision. I was pulling for Andre Ward to win. But watching that fight, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know how the judges are looking at this fight because let's be realistic, okay? There was times when Kovalev wasn't really doing much, and Andre Ward was doing a lot of throwing shots to the body, holding and hitting shots to the body. Those shots count. They mean something. They should be scored. But the whole fight, it looked like Andre Ward had the look of a fighter that was fighting uphill the whole fight. He never, like I said, he never looked comfortable. He never looked relaxed. The whole fight, he was, every time Kovalev would move, he slide back, slide back. He was trying so hard to not get hit. He was trying so hard to stay in the fight. He never gave up. He kept fighting, most definitely. He got the decision. But in all honesty, how many people really felt like he won that fight? So if you listen to him give an assessment of the fight, he speak like it was a masterful performance, like it was well calculated what he did. No, it wasn't. The second fight was different. The second fight he did what he had to do. Okay, and I think that when you watch Kovalev fight, this is what I've seen with Kovalev. Okay, he can dish it out, but he can't take it, and he feels like he's the alpha male in the ring if he can keep you humble. Even if he hits you and crack you, if you keep coming at Kovalev, he doesn't like that shit at all. We've seen it against Ward in the second fight, and we've seen it against Canelo. When you keep coming, first off, Kovalev is not really a fast guy. He's not slow, but he's not a fast guy. He's basic. There's no special effects about this guy. And when I watch him, I never saw him the way other people did. I felt like Kovalev he's good, but I never saw him the way Max Kellerman or a jab from Kovalev is like an uppercut or a hook from someone else, and he's so strong and he's so dominant. And they always try to build a person like the Marvel comic hero or something, you know. And I'm watching and I'm like, Andre Ward is really struggling to fight this guy, to beat this guy, man. He's the rematch, he did far better. Okay, and Kovalev made a fool out of himself and lied and said he got hit below the belt and all that, and no body shots broke him down. But this is my thing when I watch Kovalev. Anybody that was able to get to him just a little bit, you can see like Kovalev is like I say, he wants to try to intimidate you. He tries to come forward and apply that pressure. But if you give him that confidence to make him feel like, yeah, okay, I can do that. This guy knows how to stand here with me. Anthony Yard, coming up, you see that his experience wasn't enough. He didn't have enough skill. He didn't have the mindset to understand this is going to be a dogfight. And you're going to basically have to understand you might take some shots, but, Anthony Yard is just, Kovalev was just a better fighter, but Anthony Yard only had that one gear. Okay, Kovalev has one gear, but Kovalev can go harder at that one gear than Anthony Yard could. Okay, and with his physicality, you think that, this is going to be his step-up fight, that he's going to, come out, and he didn't do that. Now, Andre Ward, on the other hand, he actually got the job done in the second fight, but he never, in that first fight, put it like that, what I'm saying, in that first fight, he never hurt him the way Anthony Yard did. He never did what Canelo did. He never did that. He basically fought an uphill fight the whole fight. He kept getting popped, kept getting his head snapped back. And every round that went by, I'm feeling more and more like the fight's just slipping away. Like he's not, I didn't think he was going to get that decision, but he did. I'm saying that to say this. He's been so critical of AJ. And he's talking about AJ did this wrong, and he made a lot of mistakes and all. But I'm thinking, okay, so what was these mistakes? Let everybody know what these mistakes were. Because if you really look at that fight, he pointed out his weight. I thought, he should have lost more weight. The guy cut down, but I don't think AJ is just a guy that's meant to be smaller than what he comes in the ring as. Even if he can cut the weight, that doesn't mean that it's going to be better for him. That doesn't mean he's going to necessarily be, faster. Like everybody think that he's too bulky, and if he loses the weight, he'll be a lot faster. AJ, I don't know. I already did a video about this, like in regards to his weight, his speed, and all that. I don't know what a comfortable weight is for him. We can assume, but he might be just one of those guys that balloon up after he cuts weight. And it's everybody's not the same. What he has to beat you with right now, okay? Maybe the next fight, he may even be better conditioned. I'm going to be honest, and I watched that fight again late last night. Again, I have the same stance. AJ, not one time did he gas out in that fight. That's bull. I don't know where people get that he got gassed out. He did not gas out. He basically was in control of the fight, and it was a couple of rounds where he just kind of, he didn't go as hard in those rounds, kind of laid back, but he always won every single round. There was not one close round in that whole fight. And basically, he did what he had to do. And when he stepped up, look, the man got 4 knockdowns in the fight. Shit, when he got knocked down 4 fucking times, whatever, everybody was talking about like it was the worst thing in the world. He knocked this guy down twice, then he made him turn around and fucking run. And the ref could have stopped the fight right then and there. Because that's saying, hey, man, I don't want no more. And, of course, he would have protested, no, I was just getting out the way to punch. I wasn't giving up. I want a rematch and all that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the video I did is not about hate towards AJ. The other video was about some of the family that was having concerns about his weight, his hand speed, and his foot speed. I get the concerns, but then too, I addressed it in the video, which will be uploaded shortly, hopefully. And then But with Andre Ward's comments was just completely different. Andre Ward just I don't know what it is with him, man. Timothy Bradley does that same thing, man. They'll give Deontay Wilder all the props in the world. This man just got his ass beat. All right, they'll give him all the props in the world. They'll give Tyson Fury all the props in the world. They'll give any up and coming heavyweight all the props in the world. Just not Anthony Joshua. And you know, there was a time when Andre Ward was actually talking about he think he could beat Joshua. He was talking about come back as a heavyweight, and I'm like, man, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Anthony Joshua will beat the brakes off of you, man. Don't do that to yourself. And the fact that he even said that, it was like, what are you trying to like make people look at AJ like, man, this dude is not all that as a fighter. I'm confident I can beat him. He didn't say anything about fighting the other heavyweight, just AJ. So there's something inside of him that he doesn't like about AJ. But it's impeding your ability to make sense when you speak about him. I would like to know what those mistakes were. Now, let me just say this. You can apply better technique where you can get shots off quicker. You can get more punching, power behind your shot. There's techniques and things you can work on. You don't just automatically just develop super fast hands, super fast feet. These are things you have to remember as a fighter. When it's not second nature to you, you have to remember, let me get in and out quicker. Let me throw my shots more sharp, more quick. And, let me throw these quick three-piece combinations. Switch it up. Give them a four-piece combination. Go back to three. You know what I'm saying? Jab, jab. Give them a five-piece here and there. Stuff like that. That's stuff you have to remember. Because when it's just automatic, you remember how Roy Jones, his reflexes, he throw his shot, he throw 5-6 fucking hooks at the same time, and just spontaneously, and then he throw them fast uppercuts, hooks, get in, get out. That's his fight style. He has natural hand speed, man. AJ doesn't have like super fast hands. He's not slow at all, but he doesn't have the fastest hands. AJ has some speed. At the end of the day, people are finding fault and flaws in the fight that he completely dominated and got 4 knockdowns in. And for people to even say he better stay far away from Fury and Wilder. First off, Otto Wallin gave Tyson Fury trouble, big trouble. Okay, so this talk like as if, but he's going to step up and rise to the occasion against AJ. He'll be a different fighter. You can say that, but at the end of the day, AJ is just as dangerous as any other heavyweight. He's the unified champ of the world for a reason. Okay, 2-time. And for somebody to say he should stay far away from Wilder just got his ass beat. And I think that because people try to show Wilder some kind of respect, they'll say things like, well, he still got the right hand and nobody else really wants to fight Wilder because he's a risk, he's still dangerous. And no, listen to this. He just lost his last fight. There's guys that can punch. They want their shot. What you mean they don't want to fight Wilder? Now, if you're talking about people like Joseph Parker, if you're talking about the Andy Ruizes of the world, if you're talking about the Dylan Whites of the world, if you're talking about the Joe Joyces of the world, then that makes no sense to me. Because all these guys are trying to get a step-up fight. Okay, Joseph Parker and Ruiz can't just walk back into a title fight because they want to. They have to beat somebody. And they have to beat somebody with credibility. Why would they not want to fight Wilder? I mean, do you think Andy Ruiz will go out and beat Luis Ortiz or go beat Charles Martin? And then all of a sudden, no, he's right back in the title hunt. No. These guys need the work. Up and coming fighters, okay? It's a spot for them. So this way of thinking that people think that it's logical that, they don't want to fight him because he's a risk. No, motherfucker, no. Especially now. When people see, like, this guy has nothing, man. He's fired Mark Breland. We don't know who his new trainer is, okay? And at the end of the day, what do you think that he said he was ready since September, right? He's been in shape. He's been ready. This is what he said. We already know he says one thing and then he says something completely different. My thing is, to say he better stay away from Wilder. First off, let me say this. AJ wants to be undisputed. Wilder doesn't have a title anymore. So now what needs to happen with AJ? He needs to get rid of Usyk. Let's see what happens in the future. Does Tyson Fury keep his undefeated streak going? Does he hold on to the WBC title? You know what I'm saying? And then we need to see, we need undisputed. You know, but this whole Andre Ward situation is like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Stop hating, man. You always have something negative to say about AJ, but then at the same time, it's just like, I mean, it's any fighter. When you hate on someone, it's just like, for example, you know, when I looked at what Teofimo Lopez did against Lomachenko, and then you had people making excuses as to why he won the fight, and oh, Loma didn't look good, so something was wrong with Loma, all this bull crap. Then all of a sudden, Loma had to see, he hurt his shoulder. It was all these excuses. You shit all over Gervonta Tank Davis when he beat Gamboa. And then all of a sudden he comes out and people were saying that, Leo Santana Cruz, I'm telling you, he gonna do it. He gonna surprise everybody. He gonna knock Tank Davis out. All of a sudden Tank Davis knocks him out in devastating fashion. Now, all of a sudden, Tank Davis is that guy again. You know, Devin Haney just got blasted for, oh, he has no power, man. He can't beat nobody. He better stay away from Ryan Garcia. He better stay away from this guy. All this. But it's funny. Devin Haney can come out in another fight and look incredible. He didn't look bad against Gamboa. He just couldn't knock him out. Okay? Didn't we see Holyfield do the same thing? Before he fought Mike Tyson? I forget the guy name he fought. Cruiserweight guy that went up to Bobby Chez. All right? He was trying to knock Bobby Chez's head off, and he just couldn't get him out of there. Right? He's trying too hard. Okay? Everybody was like, he better stay away from Mike. And I remember people saying, even the commentators, I'm pretty sure Mike Tyson somewhere watching going, oh yeah, I'll fight Holyfield. Yeah. What happened when they fought though? But everybody gets that, they get criticized, they come back, they win, all of a sudden, oh, okay, not AJ. He gets his props from the people that understand what he's about. You don't have to be a fan of somebody to give them their props. But it's just like with these guys, certain people, nope. No matter what AJ do, AJ can go out there and knock somebody out in the first round. You know what they'll say? Well, he got the knockout early, so we don't know what would have happened if it would have went into deep waters. Well, here's the thing. He doesn't have to go into deep waters. If he knocks you out, he knocks you out. If it goes into deep waters, then it goes into deep waters. Hey, the man knocked him out in the 10th round. I mean, give the man his props, man. Like, you guys, it's like the hate is not getting you anywhere. It's just showing you that you're a hater. Now, on to something else. Tyson Fury has this photograph. He has a shirt on that's saying, calling Eddie Hearn and AJ big dashes and calling them bums, and he's claiming he'll knock AJ out in 2 or 3 rounds and all this. AJ just spoke and said it looks more like it's going to be him versus Usyk in 2021, more so than him and Fury, because he think it's going to be easy to make that fight with Usyk. If Usyk wants to be world champion, he wants that shot, then I don't see why he would not want to fight, Anthony Joshua. But I'm going to keep my ears open, do my homework and see what else is going on, because there's a reason why AJ said that. There's obviously something was talked about behind closed doors that we don't know of. Now, we can go all the way back to where, was it Spain? That there was somewhere they was, and Anthony Joshua was standing outside the car, and Tyson Fury was in the car with this big smile on his face and all. And remember, people were saying right from there, oh, they're going to fight, definitely. They're hooking up to make this fight, and they're doing this and this. Now, all of a sudden, it doesn't like it's going to happen. Now, I will say this, okay? Because I know Tyson Fury can fight. I know Tyson Fury, he got a lot of dog in him. And, I don't see him as being chicken shit. But Tyson Fury, look, he's fought some meatballs. He's beaten Deontay Wilder. We're not going to be on a Deontay Wilder high, okay? Where he beat this guy, and all of a sudden he starts handpicking, people that's not worthy. We got to see what's going to happen with Dillian White. At this point, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's going to be a Wilder Fury 3, if it's going to be Fury versus the winner of Dillian White and Povetkin first. I don't know what's happening. But what I don't want to see, okay, I don't want to see Tyson Fury get this WBC title and hold it hostage the way Wilder did. And that was one of the reasons we wanted Wilder to finally just look, somebody just beat him so we can finally get undisputed. Because if Wilder was down for undisputed, hey, okay, keep doing what you're doing with the one trick pony shit, get the fight, let's see what happens, okay? But when you talking about it ain't gonna happen, ain't no amount of money gonna make me fight him. Then all of a sudden when he lose, I still fight him. But then all of a sudden he wins again, and now there's no more talks about undisputed. And it's like, no. So we felt like if Tyson Fury, and AJ felt like that, if he got the title, he'd be quicker to sign to fight AJ than Wilder would. And the thing is, Tyson Fury's talking, he's saying these things. But even like the fight he was supposed to have on the 5th didn't happen. The fight that was supposed to happen between him and Wilder on the 19th, that's not going to happen. And so everything that we look at, right? Everything that we look at, and we analyze from the outside looking in. This is why I like to, sometimes I'll wait so I can, let me just see everything that's going on before I even speak on certain things, because a lot of times it's just new right away, and then you say something and then you come to find out, no, there's a lot more details than what you knew of. We want undisputed, man. And AJ fought Pulev because Pulev was his mandatory. Okay? That was his mandatory. So, looking at everything that happened, let's say if Pulev wasn't his mandatory, who would he have fought already? So AJ already said he want to fight Andy Ruiz again because he want to knock him out this time. Okay? But at the same time, we already know he already put that challenge out. Hey, I want to fight Wilder and I want to fight Tyson Fury. Guys, think about this, okay? Signing a contract and making the fight happen is not the same as going on social media, calling people bums and saying that you would knock the guy out and this and that, and the guy shit his pants when my name was mentioned and this and all this. See, Tyson Fury is a salesman. He's a showman. But let's look through all of the smokescreen shit for a second. I like Tyson Fury as a fighter. You know what he's made of as a fighter. But at the same time, on Tyson Fury's whole resume, we're talking Deontay Wilder, Steve Cunningham, Vladimir Klitschko, Derek Chisora. Okay? Those fights are far apart, okay, in terms of how he fought them, when he fought them. His resume, okay, we don't want to see, and I understand he was training for Wilder. So let's not forget that. And then they kept the fight kept getting pushed back, and he wanted to fight somebody. I get that, and I didn't think it was going to be no quality opponent, because at the end of the day, unless somebody a quality opponent was willing to just take a fight on short notice, which I really can't see that happening. But we don't want to see anybody holding these titles hostage. AJ's not going to be the champ forever, and neither is Tyson Fury. Okay, and at some point we're going to have this whole scrambled egg division again, where every belt belongs to somebody different and nobody wants to fight and unify. AJ's trying to do that. And the thing is this, man, I don't want to see Tyson Fury do the same shit that Deontay Wilder was doing. Hold his title hostage and yet keep calling people bums and dossers and run and jump in the WWE ring and wrestle somebody and all this shit and yet meanwhile we're not getting undisputed. That's not what we wanted. That's why we were glad that somebody took the title off of Wilder, because Wilder had no intentions. He kept talking about, everybody knows it's all about the green belt. It's all about that green. All of them pills don't mean nothing. Them all of them. So we already know he ain't want no parts of AJ. He's only interested in undisputed if he feels comfortable that he can beat the person holding those other belts. And it's obvious he don't feel comfortable that he can beat AJ. Because all these talk, all these claims, and the man clearly said there's no amount of money that's going to make me fight AJ. Don't wait for it. It ain't happening. And that's why we was glad that he lost that title. So, Tyson Fury, don't do the same thing. Don't have your father and other people in your family talking shit, calling people bums, and talking about how you'll knock them out in 2, 3 rounds, and they're this, they're that. Oh, he's not ready for my son and all this shit. Then you come with the dasa talk and everything, and then at the end of the day, you're not making an effort to make the fight. So if you're gonna fight Wilder again, fight him, beat him, move on. If you're gonna fight Dillian White, fight him, beat him, move on. Otherwise, if you're just gonna talk and then you fight somebody on a Otto Wallin level, you understand what I'm saying? And then you have a couple of title defenses under your belt with guys who shouldn't been in the ring with you. Then what does that mean? What are you doing different than what Wilder was doing if it comes to that? So I guess we definitely have to wait to see what happens with Dillian White and Povetkin. Let's not overlook that. That is a fact as well. Just see how things shape up with Fury and what his direction, because we already know that the WBO already denied AJ. Like, no, we not stepping aside. So we know Usyk wants his shot. But the whole point is this: I believe AJ will beat Usyk. Should he beat Usyk, his mandatory dates are fulfilled. So now it's like, hey, Fury, what's up? Do you guys think that Wilder got knocked out his last fight, that he could just sit out and not fight anybody, or come up, fight, and beat a meatball, and then all of a sudden he deserves a shot at AJ all of a sudden? No. But if it comes to that, guess what? So be it. So be it. Because honestly, this whole monopoly, it gets tiring to keep talking about what this guy said and who should do what and what promoter is this and who's trying to make this and what promotion is pushing their fighters and who's not. But yet we're not getting the fight that we want. So it's not about being spoiled and childish, and no, it's real simple. I don't care about all of this. You can sit up and do this all the time. There's a lot of people who did this about me and got no front teeth now. All this, they was going to do this and that to me, but right, they found out it was easy to say that shit, but doing it was like, nope, impossible task. It ain't happening. So I don't care about what they say. It's what they do. AJ's not the one spitting off out the mouth about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, this guy's a bum. No, he wants to fight. So now let's hear how negotiations go. And the thing is this, we know that Tyson Fury's not obligated to fight Deontay Wilder. Wilder called him a coward and say he's moved on from him as well. Okay? I don't even want to talk about this court case and all this crap. I don't even really want to talk about what the outcome of it. All I want to know is who's fighting who and when, so we can get undisputed. Simple. So right now, the heavyweight landscape, the way things are looking, at some point, sooner or later, Joe Joyce is going to have a fight with a Dillian White. He's going to have to fight somebody, a Povetkin, somebody of high caliber, so his name can get in that mix. Not to just be on the list as a contender, but to have that respect where people feel like, hey, this dude Joe Joyce is a threat. I mean, think about this, for example, okay? I'm looking at a good opponent for Deontay Wilder. Now, Deontay says he's moved on. There's no need for Deontay to send out some, let me give somebody a quick notice fight because I want to fulfill a date real quick. No. If he can't get Andy Ruiz, okay, there's no need to say anything about, there's no need for him to even call out Dillian White. Now, I'll tell you why Dillian White shouldn't fight him if he win that fight against Povetkin. Because now you're risking your shot, which you've been working for and fighting for. Now, he had a shot too, let's not forget, against AJ. He turned it down, saying that, Eddie Hearn and them wasting his time. They're not for real. And people forget that. They made an offer to Dylan, and Dylan didn't want it because he started feeling like, yeah, I'm bigger than that. Not as big as you think you are. He needs to go, and if he wins this fight against Povetkin, he needs to get in there and mix it up with Tyson Fury, and we see what happens from there. Now, if he beats Tyson Fury, I'm pretty sure he wants his shot at AJ, and I'm pretty sure AJ will have no problem giving him that shot. Wilder is not deserving of a shot right now, despite for the people who said, he deserves another no, he's not deserving of a shot right now. Now, as far as him getting third fight with Fury, if that's how it goes, cool. But as far as him like making a demand, like I deserve a shot because I'm Deontay Wilder, no, that's BS. Bro, you just got beat up really bad. You need to come back. You need to make a statement. So I'm looking at it like this. You lost a fight, right? You got something to prove. Andy Ruiz lost his last fight. You both ex-world champions. He got something to prove. Why don't y'all mix it up? I definitely don't want to see you and Ortiz 3. Most definitely. Or why don't you say, you know what, Joe Joyce looked good in this last fight. He's up and coming, but Joe Joyce is 35. Let's not forget it. They're the same age as Wilder. I give him, no, you're not giving him a shot. Rephrase that. He's a good competitor. Let me fight him. He's worthy. Because if that's what you want to do, because I don't know if Joe Joyce broke the top 5 yet. He should definitely be in the top 10, but I don't know if he broke the top 5 in any sanctioning body yet. I don't know. I'll look up his ranking and see where he's ranked. But why don't you put your right hand against him and see what happens between you and Joe Joyce? Because Joe Joyce is not, he beat Daniel Dubois, but beating Dubois doesn't make people think he could beat AJ or Fury. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even Dylan for that matter. But why don't you fight a Daniel Dubois? I don't want to see this. Like, there's no reason, especially if you're saying you got cheated. Okay? There's no reason for you to fight a guy like Charles Martin. You didn't fight him when he had the belt. Why fight him now? But if you're going to fight somebody who's an underclassman, you need to fight somebody that we at least know. But I don't want to see you fight a rematch with Gerald Washington. I don't want to see you fight Adam Kalnaki. I don't want to see you versus Hellenius. Nobody wants to see that. You're a top dog, right? Keep it so fight another top dog. Even if you fight, I don't want to see you fight Efe and Jamba. I don't want to see these fights with guys that's not worthy yet. And they might mess around and pull an upset. Okay? Fight somebody like Joe Joyce. Since Tyson Fury's a coward and you're moving on, there's no need for you to come back in some BS fight, especially if you've been ready to go and you've been training since September, like you said, right? So looking at what's going on right now, look, people are pissed off because AJ's right back where he started. And I'm going to do another video stating something else, but I'm going to wait on that one to get more information on that before I do that next video. So I'll hit y'all, let y'all know what that's about. Tomorrow I show you. I'll let y'all know what that's about. But it's going to be something with AJ that I want to discuss, but I need to know the facts leading up to it before I do it. Anyway, y'all, look, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And that's all I'm going to say in this video. Tomorrow I show you. Pulev. I love Pulev for that one, man. Tomorrow I show you.